If you want to be fully committed when you do say yes, you want to make sure that you don't feel resentful later by saying yes and later thinking, why did I even accept this invitation? So how do you stop feeling like you're letting people down anytime you tell them no? Well, the first step is to just ask yourself, what happens if I continue to say yes all the time? Now, being that yes person myself, I can let you know, other people start to control what you do and don't do. So really for me, it was the realization that when I'm saying yes, I'm actually saying no to everything else that I could be doing in that moment. So even if I was saying the word yes out loud, I was actually saying no to multiple things. I just wasn't taking the time to slow down and to think about what I was actually saying no to. These are things like my health, my business, my family, my relationships, all the things that I absolutely do not want to say no to. But if you are that go-to person, and I'm guessing you are because you're here on this video, so many people are going to be asking for your time and energy, mostly because you get things done on an entirely different level. That's why we need to have some kind of system or structure to make sure we're saying yes to the right things and no to everything else. And if you're someone who no longer wants to be controlled by other people and their emergencies and prerogatives, then this is the video for you. Are you ready? Let's go. So welcome to Modern Leadership, where we see things differently. We help parents excel not only personally, but professionally, so they don't have to burn out and they do not have to sacrifice their family time. How we do that is short, quick tip videos on Mondays and Thursdays and longer episodes on the weekends to help personalize this for your leadership role. If you're new, consider subscribing. But let's jump right in to saying no. Now in this video, I want to share 3 powerful tips that will help you start leading with the word no. But I don't want you to just do that. I actually want you to feel good about it. So stay tuned to the end where I have a bonus tip that will bring this all together. So tip number 1 is when somebody asks you to do something, do not immediately respond with the words yes. You have to take some time to think about it, to think about what other things you'd be giving up if you did say yes. One of the ways that I do this is I tell them, you know what, this sounds like a great opportunity, but let me get back with you because right now I do have a ton of stuff that's going on and I want to make sure that this is in alignment with my values. Guys, the truth is, they don't need to know the answer right now. Plus, if you want to be fully committed when you do say yes, you want to make sure that you don't feel resentful later by saying yes and later thinking, why did I even accept this invitation? And so in order to do that, make sure you pause and don't respond immediately with a yes. Tip number 2 is poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. Here's the thing. Like we said earlier, if you're the go-to person, people are going to try and put pressure on you to really show up. Because when you do those things, you perform at an entirely different level. Like they say, if you want to get something done, give it to the busiest person in the room. And that person is probably you. Now, when people bring me things, a lot of times it's because of the poor planning on their part. They could have told me months and months ago, but usually it's at the last moment and it needs to get done right now. Now, I don't say this out loud, but I have this constant thought of you know what? Poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. And honestly, when I think about it, when I do take on those things, not only does that specific thing suffer because I'm not able to be physically present there, and sometimes I'm even resentful, but all of the other things that happen that day also get pulled down. So once again, we want to go back to tip number 1 and really think about it. Now, before we get into tip number 3, if you're enjoying this, definitely hit the like button on this video. So tip number 3 is, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. So once you've had that time to sit down and actually think about what it is you're doing, you've got to think about the return of investment. Not only the return investment for you, but also the return investment for the other person. Sometimes what we can do is we can trick ourselves in thinking, well, if there's a little bit of potential, then I should definitely do it. And that is not the case. Like I said, if it's not an absolutely hell yes, then it's an absolutely hell no. And this doesn't mean that you don't have to ever do it. It just means it is not the time to give your energy or your focus to this thing in this given moment. Now, if you tell them no, remember, they don't need to know every reason why you're not going to be doing this. But if you feel like it's something you want to share, go for it. I always make sure that I point it back to my core values, the things that are most near and dear to me. And by pointing it to me or to my schedule or being out of alignment of what I really want to create right now, it helps to take that pressure off. So now that you are developing the art and skill of saying no, you might wonder how to really attack the self-talk that's going to be happening while you're going through this process. Don't worry, I got you covered. Check out this video. I actually dove into a powerful book by Gary John Bishop that will help you take full control of your self-talk. Be sure and subscribe to this channel if you want more, and thank you for leading from the front. Bye, everybody.